So something I preach a lot when it comes to movies and video games and just anything in general, to be completely honest with you guys, is passion. If you don't have passion for what you do, it's not probably going to turn out any good. You know what I mean? You're not going to really care enough to make it set itself above everything else. When you look back at previous superhero movies, and since we're talking about Superman, let's talk about superhero movies a little bit. So when you look back to the earlier superhero movies, the ones that everybody loves, the unanimous favorites among the groups, you got Dark Knight, of course, Christopher Nolan, great. X-Men, the X-Men trilogy, the Bryan Singer trilogy. I mean, the third movie, not great, but still fun movies, still good movies to the source material. They changed some stuff, but it was still good. Universally received well. You look at the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Again, third movie, not the best in the eyes of critics, but still, as a kid, loved them. And I'll watch them all again too. And they were all great in my opinion. Universally, I think everybody would say that those are their favorite Spider-Man movies. You look at James Mangold with Logan, great movie. Absolute passion project. You could tell they cared so much about it. Even Hugh Jackman himself, let's just say, even an actor having passion. Everybody has to have passion for you to care. A football team doesn't win the Super Bowl without a little bit of passion involved there. That is what sets them over the other teams, is how much you care about something. So these movies that I'm listing, all these superhero movies, Deadpool 1. You look at like Deadpool 1, for example. I mean, the Deadpool trilogy is just fantastic, but Deadpool 1 by itself, when you look at it, oh my God, that's a passion project through and through. Ryan Reynolds leaking the movie potentially, like, that's a big deal. That's a lot of passion. You got to have balls to do something like that. I'm saying all of this because when we watched The Dark Knight back in the 2000s, right? We watched that movie and we knew what we were seeing. We knew, oh my God, this is like the pinnacle of Batman. This is like, holy shit, peak, dude. Like, you don't get better than what Christopher Nolan is doing. And that's because Christopher Nolan had standards. He knew exactly what he wanted to create, and he didn't let the studio walk in and walk all over him. That was what I was wanting to relate to what DCEU was. When it came to Zack Snyder and the DCEU, there was just so much interference. Whether you like Zack Snyder or you don't, I don't hate him. I don't like a lot of his movies. There's a few of his movies I really don't like, but there's a few that I really do like. I like 300. I loved Man of Steel. I know Man of Steel, and that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit, is that Man of Steel on its own, a great standalone movie. It's really good. It's a completely different kind of take on Superman. He's more dark and brooding, and he's, not brooding, but he's really dark, and it's very like just a world that's so cold. You know what I mean? So whether you like Zack Snyder's movies or not, Man of Steel was a fun movie to watch. It was a fun take on Superman, and it was a good standalone. Do I think that they could have made another Man of Steel? Absolutely. I would have loved to have seen that. I would have loved to have seen Henry Cavill take on Superman for the rest of our lives, pretty much. But things happen. The DCU got canceled. It is what it is. There was a lot of flip-flops there. There was a lot of issues. They were trying to stack up to what the Avengers were doing, what Marvel was doing. And it's really hard to do anything when you have a juggernaut above you all the time. Point of the matter is, though, one of the main reasons the DCEU failed was because there was a lack of passion, a lack of trust, a lack of overall just care for where it was going to go. There was just too much intervening in what could have been potentially really good. That leads me to this new Superman movie. And this new Superman movie is fucking beautiful, man. Like this movie is peak. This is peak Superman. This is where you want a superhero movie to be, right here, in my opinion. This is what I wanted. I don't know about you guys. And the way I'm seeing people on Twitter, I'm about to be done with that shit, because you can dislike a movie all you want. You absolutely can. I hated Jurassic World. I hated Jurassic World Rebirth. It was horrible. But that does not mean that you need to tell everybody how this needs to be done. They can't do this. How dare they go back to the Snyder Cut? The Snyder Cut's over, guys. It's done. It is probably never going to happen. I'm not going to say it's never, ever going to happen. More than likely, it's never going to happen, though. So let's be real here. They had to move on. We have to get somewhere new. And Superman is where we're starting, practically. I mean, Creature Commandos was the last thing, or the first thing. But Superman itself, the live action, is the start of the DCU. And James Gunn nailed it, dude. Like, this movie is fucking awesome, guys. This movie is fucking awesome. Like I took the night, I went and saw it last night, and I wanted to talk about it right after I got out. And that's what this is going to kind of be. It's going to be an initial thoughts on it because the movie did just come out, and I don't want people to feel like I'm going to spoil anything. I'm not going to spoil anything. I want people to understand where I'm coming from and why I like this movie and the reasons you will like this movie. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to spoil it. I am, however, next week I'm going to do a breakdown just like I did with Jurassic World Rebirth, where I kind of just dive into the movie. And honestly, I think that's enough time, because like if you haven't seen it this weekend, you'll probably see it next weekend, and then you'll see my review and you'll understand where I'm coming from on everything. But as of right now, I just wanted to kind of lay out why I like this movie so much. It was just, like I said in the beginning here, man, it was just passion. It felt like it was made by somebody who gave a fuck about what it was and what it wanted to be. Like it just felt like it was more than just, oh, it's going to lead into a new universe. It will, but like it doesn't need to. It doesn't really have to. And I might even argue that like you could honestly go get a different Superman and like continue with something else. And you could leave the David Corenswet Superman as its own trilogy if you really want to. Because honestly, that's not what they're going to do with it. I don't think, at least. But this movie could stand by itself. It could literally be a by itself DCU movie, or like DC movie, I should say. And it would work. It would work in 10, 20 years. People will look back at this, I feel like, and they'll see this movie and they'll go, that movie's awesome. Like, it was a cool ass movie. When I was a kid, and I went and saw Superman Returns. That movie came out, I was probably like 10 or 11 years old. I still understood movies, you know what I mean? I understood like why I liked movies, but I wasn't as deep into it as I am now. But even when I went and saw Superman Returns, I loved that movie. I really did. The part where he like saves the airplane out of the air and like lands on the baseball diamond, gorgeous scene, absolutely beautiful scene. The movie Superman Returns, though, I felt like Superman didn't have a lot of personality. You know, he was just like your typical Clark Kent. You know what I mean? That's kind of how he was, just dude, you know what I mean? That's kind of how it felt. I don't know if that's the right wording for it, but he was just there, you know what I mean? And there wasn't a lot of action in Superman Returns. There really wasn't. It was a lot more of a drama. And Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor, amazing, absolutely amazing. Now, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor in this new Superman, out of the park, man. He is so good. He is, no discredit to Gene Hackman back in the day. Gene Hackman was a good Lex Luthor. He's the OG, but like this Nicholas Hoult one it embodies the comic feeling of Lex Luthor. Like he feels over the top at times with how he's using his money, and how his ability that he has from the government is just kind of insane in this movie. And it's fun. It's almost funny how crazy he is at times, though. It's not like, you know, he's serious about what he's trying to do. He's trying to kill Superman. He's trying to get rid of this motherfucker. And some of it's a little like over the top, like he's like extra racist towards Superman, but that's Lex Luthor. He's a fucking asshole. Like that's what he does. There's a part in this movie where he literally has monkeys typing hate mail or like hate messages on Twitter and social media about Superman to make everybody hate Superman. I thought that was funny. I think that's the most like Lex Luthor shit that you could ever see. So seeing that made me just really happy. Like I was just like, oh wow, they're capturing like the comic book feel. And that's how this whole movie felt. It felt like a fucking Justice League episode. Like I feel like I was watching a 90s cartoon, and like it flowed just like a 90s cartoon episode. It was 2 hours long, but like it felt like because it dives you right into the middle of a story pretty much. And like some people might not like that. It starts out with like an opening like credit of telling you like where we are in the world and how long Superman has been Superman. They kind of skip over the origin story of Superman because really we got it in Man of Steel. You know, you don't really need to know more about Superman. You know, he came from another planet. He landed in fucking Kansas, and he was raised as like a normal kid, but he's really a superhero. You know what I mean? So it's pretty typical. So they can skip that and it's no problem. It's just like how like Spider-Man Homecoming, great movies, by the way. Spider-Man Homecoming didn't need to start with Peter becoming Spider-Man. He's already Spider-Man. You know what I mean? He's already that guy. You know what I mean? He really just needed Tony Stark to walk in and give him a suit. You know, that was kind of in a team atmosphere. That was really how that was. So when it comes to like the way Superman was started in this movie, he's already a few years into it, similar to how the Batman did, where he was already a couple years into it, but he was kind of learning how to be the hero still. You know, like Superman is still learning how to lose a fight, how to properly like save everybody, as well as like, being restricted by governments and everything like that. It kind of throws you into a story where Superman just recently stopped a war from breaking out between two opposing countries, pretty much. So it definitely has like that Russia-Ukraine feel to it, where like one country's invading another country and it's like, people are gonna die, like they need some help, and Superman jumps into it. They don't show that necessarily, but they do like give you that background of like, he just recently stopped a war from happening and majority of the world has a problem with it. And of course you have Lex Luthor with his monkeys fucking absolutely just egging on the public, making them hate Superman altogether. So this movie is definitely like a moment where Superman has to like take his kind-heartedness and like kind of control himself a little more. He can't just like step into things. He has restrictions and he needs to learn how to be human. That's what this movie is about. It is about Superman being human. He is a human. He is Kryptonian and he's Man of Steel and all that stuff, but he is human at heart. And that is the poeticness of this movie. It is heart. It is pure heart. This movie, from its characters to its creator, James Gunn, to its just all around vibe. It is just a passionate take on Superman. And it is a fucking breath of fresh air, man. It is a breath of fresh air because we're in a formulaic time where like movies that are coming out, and no discredit, I'm not trying to discredit Marvel, because Marvel, I go and see all their movies and I try my best to enjoy their movies and continue on with the flow that they're trying to do, with the continuity that they're trying to keep. I try to keep up with it, but I have to admit, after Endgame, we all have to admit it kind of peaked at Endgame and it's been chasing that high ever since. And I was talking to a buddy about this recently, and I think it's because they peaked so high that it split the fan base. There was a part of the fan base that was like, I'm out as soon as all these actors are out. Like, these are my guys, I'm leaving after that. And then there's the fan base that's like, I need more peak. I need more peak. I need more, and they have to appeal to that. They have to appeal to the more instead of the less. They have to appeal to it. And that to me is why Marvel has slowly become a little saturated, a little bloated. We're to the point now where like Fantastic Four, especially after I just saw Superman, Fantastic Four coming out next week. I'm kind of worried about that movie. I know it's going to make a lot of money. I know it's going to lead into Doomsday. I know, and I'm excited for all that still. The idea that, oh man, if I didn't have this like 15 years of knowledge leading into Fantastic Four, oh, this might not be as good as it actually might be, So with Superman though, they start to a rebooted DCU, it is a reboot. But it starts at a point where it's already started and you don't need a bunch of origin stories. And the characters that are in the movie, you have a Green Lantern in this movie, you have a Hawk Girl in this movie, you have these characters, Mr. Terrific, you have these characters, and they made them interesting enough to where I'm like, I wouldn't mind seeing that character again. I wouldn't mind knowing more about that character. And it's got you literally reading into these characters from their comic days, because this movie felt like a comic book. It felt like you're just jumping into an adventure of Superman, and it fucking works, man. It fucking works. This movie was awesome. And like, I'm really hard on movies sometimes. I really am. I try to be positive, but I'm hard on movies. I nitpick a lot, and I will admit that right now. I nitpick so many movies. It gets annoying at times. I finally feel like we're at a time with superhero movies, like it feels like there's hope. It feels like, wow, we might actually get some pretty cool DC standalone movies, especially DC, because DC has been just striking out at the plate every moment this last decade. And it's just, there's an exception here and there. Like, I know a lot of people like Blue Beetle. I didn't see it. I was done with the DCEU. I really was. After Black Adam, I was like, it's done. And after Cavill was gone, I was like, it's done, reboot it. And they did. And I have to admit, man, like, this movie's funny as hell. It's my kind of humor. A lot of people, we were leaving the theater, and let me just say right now, it has been a long time. And I am so happy to say this, guys. I'm really happy to say this. It has been a long time since I've gone to like a movie and everybody in the theater is talking to each other. Everybody after the movie is like standing up, stretching, and like, what'd you think? Like, there were people literally asking each other, what'd you think of the movie? You know what I mean? It felt like I was a kid again, man. It felt like people actually wanted to hear what people thought of the movie. And it was like, I know people are scared of this movie because they were like, well, there's a lot of people that think it's woke, and there's a lot of people that want Henry Cavill back. I get it, man. I totally get it. This movie does have a little commentary to it. It is trying to show you that Superman is an alien, and like he's an alien to us as humans. I totally get it, because like in the view of the people in this movie, like the civilians, they're looking at Superman like, this dude's cool as fuck, but like, to what extent is he cool? You know what I mean? And that becomes a plot point too. They do kind of rearrange a little bit of Superman's origin, a little tiny bit, because they do give you little snippets of his origin. They just don't go into it like crazy. So like, it does tweak something a little bit, but I think personally, they tweaked it for the better. I think it makes Superman as a character's dilemma in this movie a little more like relatable, I would say. Like, it's more like, it's just like he has a consequence to how he was sent to Earth. And that's all I'm going to say on it. But I like the take that they took here. I like when they change things to just kind of give us a new perspective on things. I like that. That's what Man of Steel tried to do. Man of Steel tried to make Superman into practically a fucking god that literally just wanted to kind of figure out who he was. He didn't really care about destroying the city. He literally destroyed the city fighting Zod, snapped Zod's neck, and then just like, it is what it is. Sorry, guys. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how it was. This is the opposite, though. Like, this Superman has heart. He actually gives a fuck. And that is not saying people are going to attack me. That is not saying that the Henry Cavill Man of Steel was bad in any way. I loved what that movie was. I still love what that movie was. Yeah, it's a Zack Snyder movie. Yeah, it's a little dark, and yeah, and I get it. It didn't lead to anything good. You know what I mean? Justice League was trash, and it didn't lead into anything great. But on its own, again, Man of Steel was a good ass movie. It was really fun to watch. Similar to The Dark Knight, it's a good movie to watch. Just like that trilogy is fun to watch. It doesn't need to lead into anything. There's a reason Christopher Nolan didn't make a Robin movie, and I know he produced Man of Steel, Christopher Nolan did, and they wanted Man of Steel to kind of tie into Dark Knight because of how great Dark Knight was. Christopher Nolan put his dick on the ground and said, we are not fucking doing anything with my Dark Knight trilogy. And that's passion. That means you want to keep something great. That's what that would have done. Because if you combined all these things together, sometimes you can create some really shitty things. You can ruin the overall just love and passion that the original movies had. Sometimes that can change depending on what you do later on. If you try to combine things and mush them together, you can ruin things. You really can. Deadpool and Wolverine did a really good job at combining things, and they did it naturally, and it felt good. That's why I thought that movie was so good. But even movies like No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine, those movies relied on nostalgia. Superman does not rely on you knowing much. Like, you don't really have to know anything going into this movie. It is just from start to finish a comic strip. It's literally like a comic strip animated Justice League episode. It really is. And that was fun. It was fucking fun. It was refreshing and it was fun. And again, it will lead into something. It will. Like, the DCU is going to turn into a whole thing. I think the next thing is going to be Batman, to be honest with you. But it doesn't have to be. It does not have to be. It really doesn't. All in all, like, I love this movie, dude. And I'm not even like a Superman guy. I'm really not even a Superman guy. I've always liked Batman more than anybody. Like, I feel like Batman's more relatable to dudes anyway, but like, Superman's always been kind of cheesy and a little campy to me. I enjoy like seeing him. I don't mind Superman. I don't hate him. I just always thought like, oh my God, he can't die. Like, what's the point in this guy? You know what I mean? And I like when they joke about stuff like that, but like, this movie made Superman human. It made him human. Like, there were moments where like, the movie starts with him getting fucked up. Like, he's literally like, it begins with him from the preview, like bleeding out of his mouth, like, asking Crypto to take him home. He literally is human enough to know, like, I'm in my fucking ass beat, dude. Holy tits. And I will say, like, the little things that I don't like about this movie they're small, but like the first like 15 minutes of the movie, I was worried. I was worried because I was like, oh, this is a little campy. Like, it's a little like the way they were feeding us the dialogue, it was trying to hurry up and catch us up so we can hurry up and get into this story and continue it. And they tried really hard to like, all right, hurry up. Let's go. You know what I mean? They really did. And at first I was like, oh, they're feeding me information kind of unnaturally. But then at a certain point, something just clicked. The humor just got funny. And like everything just got like, it all just kind of started slowly rotating and went click and locked into place. And the movie just immediately became good. Like, it was just like, oh my God, like, holy shit, the first 15 minutes it's trying to catch you up. And then, oh my God, once you're caught up, holy shit, this movie's cool as fuck. Like, the action looked good. I'll say the CG has always been kind of getting bad lately. It really has. Marvel and DC both. They've kind of lowered their standards, it seems like. I think it's just too expensive personally. And this movie was about 200 and something million to make. It's going to make a lot of money. I think that like CG has gotten a lot worse. And like Crypto, for example, he's in this quite a bit. He's not the best looking thing in the movie at all. I'll say that right now, but like he's a fun character. It's fun to see Crypto live action. It's kind of just cool to see. And if you just kind of put your pitchforks away for a minute and just kind of look at it and go, it's a fucking movie. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of just go, Crypto looking like a CGI dog is fine. You know what I mean? It's whatever. He needs to be like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go get a fucking actual like border collie and fucking dress him up as Superman and like put a wire on him? Like it's just not gonna work. So like they did well with it. They did what they could. The other characters in the movie besides Superman and Lois Lane, they were all good too. Like the Lantern, Hawkeye, and Mr. Terrific. They were great. Like I said, I want to see more of them. I can't wait to see more of them. All in all, though, like David Corenswet is a good Superman. I think he did really well here. I think he's funny. He's got a lot of charismatic heart to him. And I just love the way this movie was portrayed. I love everything that James Gunn did with this movie. Again, there were some dialogue moments where I was like, oh, it's a little campy, a little bit. But at the same time, I'm like, I mean, if I was watching a cartoon right now, or if I was watching like Justice League on TV, it would hurry up through the dialogue to get to the action parts so the kids can go, whoa, that's what this movie was. It just kind of got through the bullshit. It was a little political sometimes, but like the political stuff made sense in terms of what Superman was fighting through in this movie. He was fighting to be human. That's what he was. He wanted to just fit in, and you can tell. And that was the buildup for the movie too. Like they wanted you to know that he feels like an immigrant. He feels like somebody who doesn't belong somewhere, but he wants to do anything he can to be a part of this world. And that's what deep down this movie is. And I think it's a great movie. I think to me, walking out of the theater, guys, like, and I'm only a day or so afterwards, but walking out of that theater, man, like everybody was happy. Everybody was happy. The theater was full and people were happy, dude. I'm sure there were a couple people that didn't like it, but I went to the bathroom and took a piss. There were like 4 or 5 kids in the, not kids, but like, like 15, 16-year-olds. I'm 30 now. So that's young to me. Or, that's kid shit to me. But they were in the theater. They were all hanging out, talking after the movie. And one of them was like, what'd you guys think? And they all said like, oh, I liked it. It was funny. It was cool. And then the one kid was like, I thought it was a little too funny. And they all like together at the same time were like, what, dude, this movie was awesome. You know what I mean? Like I miss those moments as a young adult where I went to a midnight release for a video game and we're all just passionately talking about shit, man. That's how this movie was to me, man. I just wanted to talk about this movie. Like it's just a good movie, bro. It's just good, guys. It is. It really is. This is going to sound crazy coming from me. I'm a stickler, guys, but this right now, I'm going to see it next Saturday again. This right now, this is a 9.5 out of 10. This movie is, this movie's great. This movie is great. I promise you guys, this movie's great. You take your kid to see this, he's going to love it. Or she's going to love it. They're going to love it. You go see this by yourself, you're going to love it. You take your wife to see it, she's going to love it. You take your husband to see it, he's going to love it. This movie is cool. This movie has heart. It's got good action. It's got funny ass dialogue, funny ass moments that I will never forget. There are moments that like I'm going to remember. And to that extent, it feels like I just watched Guardians 1 for the first time. That's what it feels like. It felt like Guardians of the Galaxy level of standalone with a broader universe. It's standalone with a universe in the background somewhere. And it felt like Logan in the terms of like, oh my God, man, this was as good as the character can be. You can tell the director gave a fuck about this character. You can tell the people involved gave a fuck about this character. 9.5. 9.5. I'm standing on business. That is a 9.5. There are going to be a lot of people that are hating on me for that. There are going to be a lot of people that don't agree. You're going to see reviews where people are just trying to nitpick this movie. This movie is proving that critics are too hard on things, man. Like they're saying, what do we want? You know what I mean? Like, what do we want as superhero fans now? Do we want a universe? Because Marvel just did it. And Marvel, it's getting bloated. It's getting a little harder to go and see those movies now. They're getting a little more annoying. There's a lot more social commentary. Do you want to see those movies still? Do you want to keep watching Marvel movies? Do you want that kind of universe for DC now? Or do you want how I've been saying, where it's like, you can create a universe, but like, DC to me has always been really good at releasing animated movies, like these feature length animated movies that they do. Like, you know, there's plenty of like Batman and Superman movies that I can't think of right now, but like they're good standalone, just straight up movies, you know, like animated movies. I've always wanted them to just keep doing the standalone movies the way Dark Knight was, the way like Man of Steel could have been, you know, like I've wanted them to do that for a long time. And this movie feels like it could be. It's like, I'm going to end this off by saying, this movie didn't force the consumer to know a lot. It didn't force the consumer to need more context. We didn't need an after credit scene that led into another movie. We don't need it. We didn't need it for this movie. And to let the record show, there are after credit scenes. I'm going to be real with you guys. They don't progress anything. This movie does not need to go anywhere if it doesn't want to. It does not have to. It will, but it doesn't have to. And that's the fun of it. It's not a movie that forced it. You want, as a creator, to make the consumer want more. You want them to want more naturally. You want them to go, I like that character. I want to see that character again. There's an idea in my head that either you as the creator of something have to force somebody to want more of it, or you have to make something so good on its own that people demand more of it. So there is a difference there. And I think that this movie sets that difference on a fine line. That's all I'm going to say about it, guys. Next week, watch out for my breakdown review of the movie. But as of right now, if you have not seen Superman, go see this movie. It's great. It is great. And if you've already seen it, let me know what you thought of it. Go see it again. Bye, guys.